the Republican congressman from the great state of Illinois, Adam Kinzinger. He's also a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Good evening, sir. And just to sort of clear the dust, the president says he thinks it's a witch hunt. Do you agree with the president or not?
No, I don't think so. I don't see it as a witch hunt. I think the American people have real questions, and they deserve real answers. And I actually, yesterday morning, called for this before it was announced because I think this thing has gotten too partisan. Every new piece of information that comes out, some immediately yell for impeachment, some immediately say it's fake news. And I've come to realize that basically everything is now put through a partisan lens instead of just getting to answers. And for the sake of our institution and our democracy, we need people to have faith on how this comes out ultimately. And I think this is the right way to go.
Is this enough? Is special counsel enough, or do you want more?
I think it's enough. I mean, there'll probably still be some investigating in the House and the Senate. There's some questions about do they have a role or not going forward. I don't know the answer to that. But this is Robert Mueller taking all the sources together. I think he's going to be very calm and focused, understanding, though, it can't take too long, but he needs to be very thorough. And I think when it's all over and he puts out his report or his recommendations, people will feel, you'll have some on both sides that'll question anyway based on just partisanship. But I think the vast majority of Americans will feel like justice will be served, whatever the outcome is.
All right. I always wonder, I know what people are saying inside the bubble of Washington, but back home in your home district, what calls is your office getting? What are you seeing when you go home? What are you hearing?
So, look, people are upset. If I'm talking to people that lean Republican, they think this is a witch hunt against the president. If I talk to people that lean Democratic, they think we're basically letting the president off the hook for some very real stuff. So, unfortunately, what I've noticed in the last 7 years, and really even more so in the last year, is it's become hyper-partisan. And that's part of what brought me to my realization that we've got to take this out of political hands and put it in the hands of an independent person, is because of that. Because we need to now be able to look forward and do the right thing and give people the faith they need.
If you could question either Flynn or Comey, but only one, which one would you want to question, and what do you want to ask?
I'd like to question Mr. Comey, and I want to know what happened in the Oval Office. I'd love to know, is there any corroborating evidence to whatever this? We haven't seen the memo, but to this memo, why didn't he turn it over immediately? Was he working on something else? I think if he comes before Congress, we're going to get a lot of information, and I hope that happens soon.
All right, I want to turn to some news today. Over in Syria, U.S. strikes a militia that was threatening U.S.-backed forces. What happened?
Well, look, there's an exclusion zone. It's a protected area to keep forces from conflicting. It appears that this militia group backed by Iran was trying to, in essence, do some forward recon or flank an area. They were warned multiple times. This was the multiple time they had done this in various days. We flew a show of force, which is where an F-16 or some aircraft flies very low to send a very clear message that they're doing the wrong thing. They didn't turn around. They got struck. And I think it was the right thing to do. Exclusion zones are there for a reason, and frankly, it sends a very strong message to Iran too. So this is a good move, but I don't think this shows any massive change in what's going on in Syria right now.
So we're not having huge success, huge failure. How do you characterize it? Because there's so much attention on Washington that all the important things going on, like in Syria and Iraq, gets sort of lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, it really is, and it's sad because this is Syria is a human tragedy. There's tragedies all over the place. We have a unique capability to bring allies together to fix it. The strike itself was probably a success. Syria itself is a massive failure, and with 500,000 dead Syrians, I fear it's only going to get worse without the international community making some serious decisions here.
Congressman, thank you for joining us, sir.
Yeah, anytime.